Have you ever felt stuck in a whirlwind of negative thoughts, as if everyday problems were an avalanche impossible to control? If so, know that you are not alone. Many people face emotional challenges that seem to dominate their lives, from worries with work and relationships to anxiety about the future. But what if I told you that there is a practical and accessible way to face these challenges and find clarity? Today, we will explore an ancient philosophy called Stoicism, which can completely transform the way you deal with adversity. Stoicism is not just a distant theory or something reserved for great thinkers of history. It is a powerful tool that can be applied to modern life. Imagine learning to differentiate what is under your control of what you are not, accepting adversity as opportunities for growth and cultivating a mindset of gratitude even at the most difficult times. In this video, I will share 8 practical secrets of Stoicism that will help you leave problems behind and live a full and intentional life. These simple but deep principles can change the way you see the world and face daily challenges. So if you are ready to take control of your mind and find inner peace, stay with me until the end of this video. Now, before we dive into the secrets, let's understand a little more about Stoicism and why it remains so relevant these days. Stoicism is a practical philosophy that emerged in ancient Greece around the 3rd century BC and spread through the Roman Empire, influencing leaders, thinkers, and ordinary people. But don't worry, you don't have to be a history expert to understand your principles. In fact, Stoicism is incredibly simple. It teaches us how to deal with adversity, cultivate resilience, and focus on what really matters. Imagine living in a world where things do not always come out as we plan. Wars, disease, loss, and injustices are part of life. It was in this context that Stoicism was born, as a practical response to dealing with human difficulties. Philosophers such as Epictetus, Seneca, and Marco Aurelio have developed tools that are still relevant today. For example, Epictetus, who was a slave before becoming one of the greatest philosophers in history, taught that our true freedom comes from within. He said, "It's not the events that disturb us, but our interpretations of them." This idea may seem simple, but it is deeply transformative. In the modern world, where we are constantly bombarded by information, opinions, and external pressures, Stoicism offers us a compass to navigate emotional storms. Does it help us answer questions such as how to deal with anxiety, how to find purpose in the midst of chaos, how to keep calm in the face of criticism or failures? The beauty of Stoicism is in its applicability. It doesn't matter if you are facing problems at work, financial concerns, or personal challenges. Stoic principles can be adapted to any situation. They remind us that although we cannot control everything around us, we can choose how we react. Now that we better understand Stoicism and its relevance to the present day, let's dive into the 8 practical secrets that will help you transform your perspective and live a fuller life. Secret 1. Differentiate what is under your control of what is not. The first secret of Stoicism is perhaps the most powerful of all, learning to differentiate what is under your control of what is not. It seems simple, but this distinction may be the key to significantly reducing stress and anxiety in your life. Think about it. How many times have you worried about something that in the end was completely out of your reach? Perhaps it was a criticism of a colleague, a decision of a boss, or even the mood on an important day. The truth is that many of the things that take us from seriously, opinions of others, external events, behaviors of others, are beyond our control. And the more we try to control the uncontrollable, the more frustrated we get. Epictetus summed this perfectly by saying, "There are 2 categories of things in the world, those that depend on us and those that do not depend. What we can control is our thoughts, actions, values, and attitudes. The opinions of others, traffic, the job market, these things are beyond our reach. Here is a practical exercise. Whenever you feel overwhelmed by a problem, ask yourself, is this under my control? If the answer is yes, focus all your energy to act. If not, accept and release. For example, if you are concerned about what others think of you, remember that your opinions are out of your control. Instead, focus on how they react to them. This practice not only reduces unnecessary emotional weight, but it also helps you focus on what really matters. By mastering this ability, you begin to realize that much of human suffering comes from trying to control the uncontrollable. With this first secret in mind, we will explore others. How to turn adversities into growth opportunities. Secret 2. Accept adversities as opportunities. The second secret of Stoicism is to transform adversities into growth opportunities. It looks contradictory, isn't it? After all, who wants to face difficulties? But here is the truth. The challenges are inevitable. What changes is how we choose to see them and deal with them. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, just as work strengthens the body." In other words, obstacles are not just barriers, they can be undercover teachers. When something goes wrong, instead of resisting or complaining, ask yourself, what can I learn from it? A modern example is that of entrepreneurs who fail before building successful businesses. Many report that their greatest learnings have come from failures, not successes. They have learned to adapt, to improve their strategies, and most importantly, to develop emotional resilience. Here is a simple practice to apply this principle. Whenever something goes wrong, take a break and reflect on 3 things. What happened? What can I learn from this? How can I use this lesson to improve in the future? This mindset turns problems into steps towards growth. Instead of avoiding adversity, start seeing them as disguised opportunities. Remember, you can't control everything that happens, but you can choose how to react. With this new perspective, we will explore the next secret: how to practice gratitude daily to cultivate a fuller life. Secret 3. Practice gratitude daily. The third secret of Stoicism is simple but deeply transformative. Practice gratitude every day. In a world where we are constantly focused on what is missing, more money, more success, more time, gratitude helps us rediscover the value of what we already have. Marco Aurelio, Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote in his Reflections, "When you wake up in the morning, think about the people and things you are grateful." This practice not only changes our perspective, but it also connects us with the present, something we often ignore: the rush of everyday life. Gratitude does not mean ignoring problems or pretending that everything is perfect. On the contrary, it helps us find beauty even in the little things. A hot coffee in the morning, a significant conversation with a friend, simply being alive. These moments can be sources of joy if we know how to appreciate them. Here is a practical exercise. Before bed, write 3 things you are grateful for that day. They can be large or small, from a compliment received to the sunset you observed on the way home. By doing so regularly, you train your mind to focus on positive, even in the midst of difficulties. This habit not only improves your mood, but also strengthens your emotional resilience. When we learn to value what we have, the challenges seem less scary. Now that we understand the power of gratitude, let's explore another secret: how to visualize the worst possible scenario to face our fears. Secret 4. View the worst possible scenario. The fourth secret of Stoicism may seem counter-intrusion at first glance. Visualize the worst possible scenario. Yes, you read right. Instead of avoiding thinking about what can go wrong, face it head-on. This practice, known as evil premeditation, is a powerful tool for reducing fear and increasing confidence. Seneca explained, "What scares us is not the events themselves, but our perception of them." When we anticipate the worst, we realize that most of the time it is not as terrible as we imagine. Also, being prepared mentally gives us more clarity and calm to face real challenges. For example, imagine that you are looking forward to an important presentation at work. Instead of avoiding thinking about failure, ask yourself, what if I forget the words? What if people don't like it? By viewing these scenarios, you realize that even if something goes wrong, you will be able to deal with it. This exercise helps to relieve pressure and create an action plan if something unexpected happens. Here is how to apply this technique. Choose a situation that is worrying you and ask, what is the worst that can happen? Then reflect on how you can prepare or answer. This practice not only reduces fear, but also strengthens its ability to adapt. By mastering this ability, you will be ready for the next secret: how to let go of material things to value what really matters. Secret 5. Detach the material things. The fifth secret of Stoicism invites us to look beyond material goods and value what really matters: experiences, relationships, and personal growth. In a world where we are constantly bombarded by consumer messages, buy more, have more, be more, detachment can be a powerful way to find freedom and meaning. Marco Aurelio wrote, "Life is not done by the things we have, but by the use we make of them." This reflection reminds us that material objects bring only momentary satisfaction. They can fill physical spaces, but rarely fill the emotional or spiritual emptiness. On the other hand, true connections with people, ideas, and purposes have the power to enrich our existence in a lasting manner. A modern example is minimalists, who report greater satisfaction when simplifying their lives. By getting rid of unnecessary items, they discover more time, energy, and mental clarity to focus on what really matters. To apply this principle, start small. Choose a drawer, a shelf, or even an area of your home and ask yourself, I really need it. Donate or discard items that do not add value to your life. Over time, you will realize that less is more, less mess, more room for what really matters. By practicing material detachment, you will be ready for the next secret: how to cultivate virtue as a central purpose of your life. Secret 6. Cultivate virtue as a purpose. The sixth secret of Stoicism leads us to the heart of a full life: to live according to virtue. For Stoics, virtue is not just an abstract moral concept, it is the true purpose of life. It is through the practice of values such as honesty, justice, courage, and wisdom that we find meaning and fulfillment. Marco Aurelio, in his Reflections, stated, "Happiness depends on the choices we make, not the circumstances we face." Indeed, this idea challenges us to always act with integrity, regardless of external pressures. For example, if you are facing a difficult decision at work, such as prioritizing profit on the well-being of others, choosing virtue may seem harder in the short term, but will bring long-term inner peace. Living with virtue means aligning your actions with your deepest values. Ask yourself, who do I want to be? And how do my actions today reflect this? This is not perfection, but consistent effort. Even small daily choices, such as being kind to a stranger or fulfilling a promise, strengthen your identity and purpose. To apply this principle, identify a value you want to cultivate, such as compassion or discipline, and find ways to practice it every day. Over time, these little acts accumulate, transforming not only who you are, but also the impact you have on the world. By embracing virtue as a guide, we are ready to explore the next secret: how silence and reflection can help us find clarity and balance. Secret 7. Practice silence and reflection. The seventh secret of Stoicism is a practice that we often neglect in our agitated life, to find moments of silence and reflection. In a world full of noise, constant notifications, incessant conversations, accumulated appointments, silence has become a rarity. However, it is essential to processing emotions, gaining mental clarity, and making more conscious decisions. Marco Aurelio wrote, "The soul gets blurred when it is constantly disturbed by external stimuli." This insight reminds us that, without breaks to reflect, our mind can be lost in distractions and impulsive reactions. Silence gives us room to hear our inner voice, understand our feelings, and realize our priorities. A simple practice to incorporate this into your routine is to book a few minutes a day to meditate or write in a diary. Ask yourself, how did I feel today? What were my victories and challenges? And what can I do best tomorrow? Writing. Your reflections not only helps to organize thoughts, but also promotes self-knowledge. Another powerful way to practice silence is temporarily disconnect from digital distractions. Try spending 10 minutes without cell phone, social networks, or any other external stimulus. Use this time to breathe deeply, observe the environment around you, or simply be present. By cultivating the habit of silence and reflection, you will be prepared for the last secret. How to remember mortality. You can inspire us to live with intention. Secret 8. Remember mortality. The eighth and last secret of Stoicism is perhaps the deepest. Remember that life is finite. Although it may seem dark at first glance, this reflection is not about fear or sadness, it is about motivation. In embracing mortality, we are driven to live with intention, taking advantage of every moment as if it were unique and unrepeatable. Seneca wrote, "Life is long enough if we use the time we have." This idea challenges us to stop postponing our dreams, relationships, and goals. How many times do we stop doing something important because we think there will be time later? The truth is that time is our most valuable feature, and once lost, it can never be recovered. To apply this principle, ask reflective questions. How do I want to be remembered when leaving? What really matters to me? And am I living according to my deepest values? These issues help prioritize what is essential and eliminate distractions. A powerful practice is to imagine your own legacy. Write a letter to your future me or the people you love, explaining how I would like to be remembered. This not only clarifies your priorities, but also inspires actions aligned with your purposes. Remembering the brevity of life, you gain clarity to focus on what really matters. And now, with all 8 secrets presented, we are ready to complete this video with an inspiring final message. We have reached the end of this video, but I hope this is just the beginning of a transformation in your life. Recapitulating quickly, we explore the 8 secrets of Stoicism that can help you leave problems behind and live a full life. Differentiate what is under your control of what is not. 2. Accept adversities as growth opportunities. Practice gratitude daily. View the worst possible scenario to face your fears. Detach from material things and value the essentials. Cultivate virtue as a central purpose of life. Find clarity through silence and reflection. 8. Remember the mortality to live with intention. These simple but powerful principles have the potential to release your mind, reduce the emotional impact of problems, and bring more meaning to your daily life. And the best? They don't require big changes, just start small. Choose one of these secrets and apply it today. It can be to practice gratitude before bed, identify something out of your control, or reserve a few minutes to reflect in silence. Remember, Stoicism is not about perfection, but about progress. Every step you take toward these principles is already a victory. And if you need more inspiration, subscribe to this channel and enable notifications. Here we share weekly content on personal development, practical philosophy, and tools for a more balanced life. Finally, I want to leave you with one last reflection. Life is short, but every moment can be lived with purpose. Don't wait for the future to be happy or accomplished. Start now. Make conscious choices, value the present, and take control of your mind. So which of these secrets will you put into practice today? Share in the comments below. Your answer can inspire other people as well. Thank you for watching here, and remember, living is not a distant goal, it is a daily choice. Until the next video.